Hi everyone, how are you? We're just gonna wait a second to make sure everyone gets on the call. I know this has been a little bit confusing. There have been some technical difficulties, so let's just see if this works. Just gonna wait a couple more minutes here. I know this is confusing for some people. Should be taken. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me know in the Facebook group. We'll get started as soon as I know that someone can see me or hear me. Oh gosh, okay. Yay, okay. Ailish says that she can see me and hear me. Awesome, cool. All right, I'm gonna get started. Hopefully people can see me, hear me. Super sorry about all the technical difficulties. It's been crazy. It looks like my lips are not really in sync with what I'm saying, but I'm just gonna roll with it and be happy that I am live right now. Okay, so thank you so much for your patience, first of all. Technology and I are usually friends, but clearly tonight, not so much. It happens. This is just one of the many perks you can look forward to as a business owner. So fun, right? All right, so I'm just going to do a little bit of background stuff about me so people can start logging on before we get into the meat of it. But if you don't know me, I am Lexi D'Angelo. I am the success stylist, and I am super passionate about helping go-getter ladies like you ditch the 9-to-5 and just really launch their successful coaching business. And I'm all about having a blast while doing it. I totally get that, you want to create a business that you love, but at the same time, you want a lifestyle that you love too. So that's been really important to me, through creating my own business. So just to share a couple of random facts about me as people are logging on. I see 4 people are on here right now. I know there was 100 signed up, so sorry. Let's see. I have a puppy. I just got a puppy like 2 months ago. His name is Kato. If you hear barking in the background, that's probably him. I have an unhealthy obsession with kombucha. It's like my favorite thing ever, and that's totally been something that I'm like addicted to now. I've actually been an entrepreneur since the age of 6 when I tried to start my own slushie company. Needless to say, it wasn't very profitable, and neither were my other entrepreneur ventures, which included an ice cream cake business, a greeting card business, and probably a bunch of other things on top of it. But the point is if at first you don't succeed, just get up and try again. And so with coaching, I can confidently say that I have really found something that I love and I am so passionate about. And I'm just so excited to be able to support incredible women in making their dreams a reality on a daily basis. So coaching and the coaching world has completely changed my life, and I want to show you how to completely transform your life as well. So let's just see. Okay, 9 viewers now. Awesome, awesome. Thank you guys so much for hanging tight and dealing with all this. I really appreciate it. I'm really happy to be here with you guys tonight. You are, a select group of women who are doing some amazing things, not only in your business, but like in your life. And so I just want to give credit to you for really just like taking initiative and being on this webinar tonight and really being committed to furthering your success, because so many people are, too afraid to get out there and really pursue what they love. So cheers to you for that. All right, so during this webinar, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey and how I started the coaching business and the steps I took to experience the success that I have. So right now, before I start, I just want to let you know that there's going to be time for a Q&A at the end. I'm going to try and go through this a little bit faster than I had planned, just to respect your time. But if I miss something, definitely ask me anything during the Q&A. I'm pretty much an open book, and I'm totally ready to answer any questions. And you're gonna want to stay tuned till the end, because I have an awesome offer to share with you guys. So, all right, before we get started, I know you probably had time to prepare since it's taken like 20 minutes to get started, but close out of any other windows, shut your phone off, and just grab a pen and a paper to write down any, tips or things that you find interesting and any questions that come up for you along the way. And before we really dive into it, I just want you to take a moment to set an intention. So why did you decide to register for this webinar tonight? What is it that you're hoping to leave here knowing or feeling? Whatever it is, just set that intention and write it down for yourself. I'm going to personally close out of the Facebook window that I have open. Some people are saying they can see it. Some people are having trouble. So sorry for those of you who are having trouble. I think I'm just going to re-record it so you guys can all have it later. But okay, we're going to get started. I'm going to X out. Hopefully you'll be Xing out too, so we can focus and really dive into this together. So really, it was only a couple of months ago that I was working the 9-to-5 job, chained to my desk, like absolutely hating life, to be honest. And I always knew, though, like deep down, that I was going to create something for myself. I was going to be my own boss, and I was going to launch my own business. But I had no clue how to get started. And I was in so many jobs that I really, really didn't like, but I felt like that was something like I should have been doing. Like there's a certain path I should take. And so I was kind of following it. But in reality, I was just miserable. I was struggling to pay my bills. And I just dreaded waking up each morning. And I'm usually a pretty positive person. So for me to be like hating life and like not wanting to like go to work or not having any excitement, like that's pretty depressing. So I knew that I really wanted to create my own freedom-based business where I was calling the shots and where I was able to do what I loved. So really just back in September of 2014, I was so lost and confused. I didn't know how to get started. I didn't know how to get my business off the ground. And literally like 6-7 short months later, I'm living my dream right now. I work from home. I'm able to, afford having a puppy who I get to hang out with during the day. I get to chat with incredible women all day long, help them launch their own coaching business. And I get to travel to gorgeous places around the world. So far this year, I've been to Sydney, Australia, and Turks and Caicos, and I'm off to Paris next month. And I've also discovered what it takes to make 10K, 5 figures, whatever it is, in a week's time, which is so exciting. And I never imagined that that would even be possible in this short amount of time. And I'm literally telling you these things not to be like, oh, look at me, like, look at my success, like, not at all. I'm saying this because it's so possible for you. I've experienced a ton of success in a short amount of time, and that means that you can do that too. Like, there's nothing special about me that allowed me to condense the timeline. Anyone can really do it. So I'm just gonna go through my story a little bit, and definitely feel free, like I said, to ask anything. So it really all started, March of last year. So March of 2014. I knew that I was like wanting to take my health and my wellness into my own hands, getting back into like working out regularly and all that stuff. So I joined CrossFit and I started prioritizing my health. And so I was really loving that. It was really, making me feel more alive. And I found something that I was really passionate about outside of like the 9-to-5 world. And I realized that I wanted to extend this passion into other areas of my life, like mainly my business. And I just remember one day after CrossFit, I had this like weird random thought. And I thought to myself, like, oh my God, if something were, God forbid, to happen to me tomorrow, and I knew that I only had, X amount of time to live, would I be happy about how I'm living my life right now? If my days were numbered, like, is this how like I would do things? Would I change something? And they started to freak out because I knew that what I was doing was not what I was passionate about, not what I wanted to be doing in the long haul. And I realized I really wanted to find something that I woke up excited and lit up about. And I also knew that I really wanted to help people and make a difference in other people's lives. And so I had no clue what shape or form that would come in. And I just remember praying, please, help me get clarity on how I can make this happen. So I knew that I wanted to help people while still utilizing my creativity and just finding passion in everyday life. And literally the next day, I stumbled across IIN, or the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. And when I first read about it, my heart started racing, I started shaking, and I was like, yes, this is totally it. I want to become a health coach. So in June of 2014, I enrolled in IIN to become a health coach. And I really loved everything I was being taught. The curriculum was awesome. I was really learning a lot of things, but really all I was doing was sitting around listening to modules, looking up things on the internet, and that kind of stuff. I wasn't really taking any action in the first couple of months that I had joined the program. So, summer passed by and I still wasn't really doing anything with my newfound knowledge. And the curriculum kind of stated that we weren't allowed to or we shouldn't be trying to get our first clients until December of 2014, January of 2015. And I was not cool with that. I was like, no. This is not going to work for me. I need to be out of this 9-to-5 yesterday. So how can I, make this a reality? How can I turn my dreams into my reality? So I knew I just wanted to become a coach, but like I said, no idea where to start. So I really just realized at the end of the day that IIN's pace wasn't for me. And I decided to get super fierce about actually getting my business off the ground sooner rather than later. So I thought that I could take matters into my own hands. And so I signed up for probably hundreds of newsletters, researched other coaches like crazy, listened to every podcast I could get my hands on, was reading so many books. And at the end of the day, I was learning a lot, but it wasn't helping me get clients or make an income. So I wasn't any closer to really leaving the 9-to-5 like I wanted to. So in September of 2014, I sat down with myself and was like, all right, something's got to give. I knew I was a smart, intelligent girl and that I probably could figure it out on my own eventually, but I wasn't cool to sit around wasting time any longer. I knew I wanted to achieve success fast and that I was going to have to do something about it. So I decided that I was going to look around and hire my own coach, someone who, had been in my shoes before, completely understood my situation, and who could really support me in creating the thriving business that I wanted to create. So literally days later, I stumbled across Amanda Daly in her Upswing Mastermind. First of all, Amanda's just brilliant. I have so many amazing things to say about her. But as soon as I watched one of her webinars, I just knew that this was the woman who was going to help me really take my business to the next level. I saw, the lifestyle she had created for herself, not just the business. I knew that that's what I really wanted. So I knew I wanted to work with her, but I wasn't really sure if I should do one-on-one work with her or work with her in the Upswing Mastermind. So we talked it out, and eventually I chose to do the Upswing Mastermind program with a couple of one-on-one sessions with her as well. So this was key for me because I started to surround myself with like-minded women who were on a similar journey. And it wasn't just people who were talking about growing their business or saying like, yeah, like one day I'm going to do it. It was women who were taking action now and were deciding like this was meant for them, and that like they knew they needed support. We all knew we needed some guidance, and we were so ready to like get in this journey together. So that was one of the first biggest things I realized, like just from our first call, just like the energy and just being raised to such like a high vibration was so powerful. And like it continued to be such an incredible experience all the way through the end of the program. And even now we're all still in touch. We all talk to each other on a daily basis, which is so incredible. So one thing so this was in September of 2014. This was mid-September when I joined. And at the time, I had a blog that I was, committed to writing like almost every day. And I thought that my blog was like the key to success. And I thought like a beautiful, gorgeous website was everything, because you're not a professional unless you have a gorgeous website, or so I thought. But that was one of my beliefs that kind of held me back in the beginning, because I didn't really get started until I made sure that I had that good website and felt confident that like it looked pretty and all that. Whereas I know so many coaches who just have like a Facebook page, but they still have clients. So it's totally not necessary to have a website. I just want to preface that, because so many people feel like they need to do that in order to get their business started. Definitely not. So like I said, I was blogging every day, and it was a lot of work. I was probably spending about 3 hours a day at least creating blog posts. And while that was helping me become more visible to a certain extent, it wasn't really getting myself in front of my ideal clients. Like I wasn't reaching out to them specifically. So Amanda said to me, like, what if you took that time that you use blogging and you put it into like your newsletter list, and really building that list and nurturing that list and creating, a community? And I was like, oh, maybe, like, I don't know. I like wasn't feeling it, but it turned out to be one of the best decisions was for me to start focusing on growing my newsletter list and putting blogging on the back burner. So that was like one of the big changes for me that helped me kind of take the next step. The next thing that really helped me was really just like owning the fact that I was a coach. At first, when people would talk to me and ask like what I was doing, I was still in my 9-to-5 job. And so I was like, oh, like I'm in marketing and I'm kind of trying to become a health coach on the side. Like, I don't know. And I'd get all weird and awkward about it, and I wouldn't want to talk about it, and I wouldn't want to say anything, because I wasn't confident that, first of all, this was even possible for me to become a coach. Like, I didn't think that like I could launch my own business. And also, like, I just wasn't confident about the wording of my elevator pitch. So something that really helped me was really stepping into the shoes of being a coach and deciding like right then and there to just, screw it and own it. Like, who cares what other people think? Like, who cares like if, this flops? I mean, obviously I wanted to be successful, but it wasn't going to be successful unless I actually owned it and stepped into the shoes of being a coach. So I really committed to saying that I was a coach and getting super clear on exactly what it is that I did and who I served. So I spent a lot of time trying to figure out my target audience. And that's like another really important thing that I think, if you've been following me, that I stress, like, it's so crucial that you really understand exactly who it is that you're speaking to, what their pain points are, what they desire, so you can fulfill those needs in form of your package or your programs. So that was really a struggle for me, because for a long time, I wasn't really clear on my target audience. And I think that I was focusing a lot on what I should be doing. So I felt like, I was enrolled in IIN. I should be, well on my way as a health coach. I should be trying to help this woman or that woman with their health. But like deep down, that's not really like what I wanted. I previously, like, I had a background in advertising, marketing. I was doing web design on the side, and through my web design, I was talking to a lot of new coaches, and I found myself like really digging in like to their target audience with their marketing plan. And I found myself like really loving having those business conversations. And we would end these conversations. They'd be like, "Oh my God, Lexi, like that was amazing. Thank you so much for your help. Like I'm totally clear on this now or that." And I was like, "Cool." But I still like felt like I should be a health coach. And so I kept pursuing that, but I wasn't completely passionate about it. So a lesson looking back was like, okay, if I'm not going to be fully immersed in this, and if I'm not fully lit up by my target audience or my ideal client, then this business isn't going to be successful. And so it took me a while to really get that into my head, but it was always in the back of my mind. So I really just instead, like I kept pushing through with the health coaching thing. I made a commitment to make myself really visible. So I was holding webinars. I was guest posting on people's blogs. I was posting things on Facebook all the time, really getting involved in Facebook groups, telling people in person, like everything that I was doing. So I was definitely like really open about, I'm a coach, like this is what I'm doing. But I was still trying to fit the health coaching mold, even though that's not really what I wanted to do. And so it wasn't until January of 2015 that I actually joined another coaching program and hired another one-on-one coach to work with me. And through that, I realized even more so the possibilities and what you could become as a coach. And I saw all these people like achieving greatness in just by being themselves, by doing what they were really lit up by and really passionate about. And so it was then that I really decided to switch things up and go after what I was passionate about, which was helping women create a freedom-based lifestyle from their own coaching business. So as soon as I really committed to something that I was so passionate about, things really started changing for me. My brand completely changed. My voice completely changed. When I was a health coach, I was kind of pretending to be someone that I wasn't, like very flowery and very like, oh, hello, gorgeous. Like, and while yes, like that's part of me, there's another part that's kind of funky and weird and quirky. And for some reason, when I was aligned with like what I was passionate about, I felt so much more comfortable voicing my true voice. And so if I could give you any advice, whether, you're a business coach, you're a relationship coach, a health coach, success coach, whatever you are, it's just to really be authentic and do what makes you happy. Work with the people that you really, really are excited to work with and be yourself. So much easier said than done. I completely get it. But when you're able to be yourself, you can truly attract your ideal clients and the people that you really desire to work with. So that was January or so in my business. And so February, things started to, like I said, take off a little bit more. I was becoming super visible online. And I was getting messages like constantly of people being like, oh my goodness, like your guide was so helpful, or I love that conversation we had. Like, I'm really like feeling my business now. Like I know the direction I want to go in, all this amazing feedback. And so like, it just felt so good to realize that even though I might not have been as experienced as a business coach, people were really responding to my coaching and to my tips. And it made me realize that like you don't need to do something for forever to be an expert. As long as you are a few steps ahead of your clients, you're golden. I had been so familiar with like marketing and advertising and sales techniques in the past. So I knew what I was doing in terms of like, social media and creating a marketing plan, strategy, all that. So it's not like business was like completely new to me, but coaching it definitely was something new to me. But I didn't let that fear of not being knowledgeable enough or not being expert enough get in the way of doing what I really wanted to do. And I know a lot of people, like even health coaches, because that's my background, they feel like even when they complete the IIN program, like they don't have enough knowledge still. There's always like that need to like have all the answers. And the truth is, you're never going to have all the answers. It's just not possible. So it's important to really take a look at like where you are now, and where you've like come from. So give yourself more credit. You've learned a lot in, the past maybe month, 2, 3 months, year, whatever it is. And you've definitely come so far in your own personal journey, and you can take that information and help someone else who's a bit behind in their own journey. So that's just something to keep in mind. So just kind of getting into the biggest things for me that have like really changed my business, I would say really investing in myself and hiring a coach to show me, exactly how to achieve the success that I desire. Like that was probably the number one best decision I've ever made in my life. I'll be honest with you, I've invested, let's see, like $45,000 since last year. It's a lot of money. It's not money that I've had. It's money that I've come up with. It was definitely really scary to spend that much money. But I knew deep down that like I really wanted to work with these certain coaches, and I really wanted to make my business a success. And I'm not saying you have to go and like blow, or it's not blowing, invest like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. But I think that there's something to be said when you're able to invest in your own business, because at the end of the day, as coaches, we really want people to invest in our services. But if we're not willing to invest, in our own businesses, then how can you expect other people to pay for your own programs? So that's like an interesting thing to think about. Another big thing that has been a complete turning point, like I've said, is just surrounding myself with women on a similar mission who are doing not necessarily the same thing as me, but are just showing me like what's completely possible. I've been in these amazing group programs with women who are making $90,000 a month. Like it's insane. Like that just sounds mind-boggling, I'm sure, to a lot of you. And that like seemed like completely far-fetched a couple of months ago. Like, what world are you living in that you can make that much money a month? That's insane. But like now, like I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, like I totally know how I could do that. And it's just really crazy. Like it doesn't have to take forever. It really, really doesn't. And there's definitely like smart ways to go about your business and ways that, aren't so smart. So I felt like in the beginning, like I was really spinning my wheels, not working on things that were super efficient and not focusing on things that were going to bring me the money and the clients. So it's really important that you're able, as a business owner, if you work from home and, there's no boss like kind of telling you what to do, that you know exactly how to spend your time in the most efficient manner possible. And the other thing is, like I've said this before just now, but like be yourself. There's no one else in this world like you. And yeah, you might push some people away with your messaging because they're not going to relate, but you're going to draw in so many more ideal clients and, people into your life just by being yourself. So that is my big advice. I'm really sorry I kind of rushed through all of that because of our time or tech issue over here, but let me just peek and see how everything's going. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. I know that was like a little bit all over the place. I think there's also a delay. So I'll wait for some questions to come in. I know that I have some that people have posted on the Facebook group, but if you have any questions, definitely feel free to post them in the chat. I have so much to share about my business. I know that was just the tip of the iceberg. I had a lot more planned, but like I said, in respect for your time, I don't want to go overboard. But while I'm waiting for those questions to come through, I am super excited to tell you guys about a new group program that I am launching officially tonight. You guys are the first to know. I want to let you guys know first because there are definitely bonuses for people who sign up for it first. But let me just go into it a little bit. So this is a program for new coaches that very clearly lays out the exact steps you need to take in order to launch your successful coaching business. It's also an amazing opportunity because you're going to be surrounding yourself with like-minded women who aren't just, like I said, talking about their business and making it a success, but who are actually taking those steps necessary to see success in their business. So you know how crucial that's been in my own journey. And this is something that I really want to provide new coaches with because it's just so important that people get what you're going through and really show you what's possible, as I've said. Another amazing thing about this is it's not like any other group program where, you know, like I'm just talking at you and you leave. There's going to be time after every lesson that I teach. It's there's going to probably be 45 minutes or an hour for every single person to get laser coaching. So laser coaching is like you come prepared with a question that you're dealing with in your own business. And I spend time talking to you about whatever it is that's going on in your business. But the beauty of it is that everyone else can hear what's going on for you and what my response is, because most likely their question is going to be something that you want answered as well. So I found for me that in my own group program, that was so beneficial. So if you want to follow along, I'll just quickly go over the topics we'll be covering, and then we'll get back to the Q&A. But you can go to lexidangelo.com, and that's LEXIDANGELO.com/stop, STOP, and then dash hiding, HIDING. And that will bring you to the page that kind of talks a little bit about the program. It's a 9-week program. We'll meet every week for 90 minutes. But just to quickly go over the topics that are going to be covered. Week 1 is going to be orientation and sisterhood. So really just, you know, getting to introduce yourself to everyone, learning how to set yourself up for some serious success, and learning how to work smarter, not harder, by creating an efficient schedule and a routine. Week 2 is money mindset. So really uncovering your money story to see what's holding you back from the wealth you desire, establishing a wealth consciousness practice to create abundance in your life, and really working on some powerful money affirmations. Week 3, getting clear on your goals and desires. So touching upon your big why, tapping into your own story, understanding how you're unique and how that's going to help attract your ideal clients. And week 4, discovering who your peeps are. So really diving into your ideal client, getting in their head and knowing exactly like what their pain points are, like what they really want and desire. And then using that knowledge again to attract those ideal clients. And figuring out why your client needs to work with you over anyone else in the industry. Week 5 is creating irresistible packages. So learning how to design and create your signature package, discovering how to structure those programs, and learning how to price them. Then week 6 is all about visibility issues. So really uncovering fears and limiting beliefs to help you move past your blocks, how to really commit to stepping outside of your comfort zone and start before you're ready, figuring out like what's keeping you stuck and invisible, and learn the necessary strategies to become super visible and well-known in the online world. So week 7 is making your ideal clients seek you out. So you're going to find out like where they're hanging out, how to speak their language and attract them via your content, your messaging, just really understanding how to resonate with them. And week 8 is getting social and building a following. So, you know, really learning how to use social media to keep in touch with your people, to attract new people, learning how to grow your list, figuring out your own unique opt-in, and really knowing just how to nurture your tribe or your community. And finally, week 9 is sell like a superstar, not a sleazy car salesman. God, I can talk about this forever, but I hated sales so much going into this business. And part of the reason I was like iffy about becoming a coach was because I didn't like the selling process. It didn't feel good to me. I hated the sales background, all that jazz. But there's really a way to have fun with sales conversations. I never thought I would say that in my life previously, but like I actually really enjoy getting on the phone with people and talking about my programs, because when it's the right fit, I know that I can help them. I know that I can help my ideal client really create the business they desire. And I feel like it would be doing them a disservice if I wasn't offering that solution to them. So really just understanding how to overcome the top objections in sales conversations. And there's also kind of like formula script that I use that I want to share with you guys so you can hit your income goals. So that's a lot of information right now, but definitely check it out on your own. The bonus that I have to offer you guys is the first 10 women who sign up for this program are going to receive a 50-minute session with me to talk about whatever you want. We'll deep dive into whatever subject that you really need to focus on in your business. So yeah, the benefit of being on this call right now is that if you're one of those first 10 women, then you get that bonus. Also, I am going to offer for all of you who are on the call right now, if you do sign up, regardless of whether you're the first 10 or not, I'm going to offer you a 30-minute opt-in deep dive. So we'll work together to create your opt-in and really make sure that it resonates with your target audience and that it's going to be one that's going to really convert well. And if you sign up before April 24th, you will receive the early bird special, which is a price of $4.99. The regular program is going to be at $7.49, so it's $250 off, which is pretty awesome. And really, I've tried to make this as affordable as possible because I really, really want to see women take their business to the next level. So yeah, this is such an amazing program. I'm so excited about it. There's going to be an exclusive Facebook group for all of you women who do sign up. So these are the real go-getters, very VIP. You're also going to receive a welcome packet that will help me really be able to make sure that you're getting what you need throughout the program. So even though it's a group program, I really want to make sure that your individual needs are being met. And you're going to get a free digital copy of the book Think and Grow Rich. That is a book that has really played a huge role in my success. I didn't talk much about wealth consciousness, but that's a whole beast in itself. And it's so important to build your wealth consciousness muscle. And you're also going to get another, on top of our laser coaching sessions each week, you're going to get an hour, probably more than that, dedicated to you in the Q&A session of the Facebook group. So there's a lot of amazing stuff going on there. Happy to answer any questions you have. But yeah, definitely check it out. And let me see if anyone has any questions. I don't think that maybe in this Google Hangout you can't ask questions. I'm not sure. But I have a bunch from the Facebook group that I want to answer. Let's see. All right. So Jessica asks, firstly, how do you avoid burnout while setting up your business? Were you working in a 9-to-5 job still when you were starting out? I'm struggling between spending enough time on my business outside of my 9-to-5 job and making sure I get enough rest in me time. Were you able to find a balance, or did something suffer at the expense of the other? I'm sure you'll share this, but I would love to know what the crucial steps were to skyrocket your business in just a few months. Was the business already set up before this growth took place? Okay, so avoiding burnout when starting your business can definitely be really tough. For me, yeah, I was still in my 9-to-5 when I first started my business. And I knew that I really wanted to make stuff happen fast. So I worked my ass off. I'm not gonna lie. Like there were weeks where it was like 100-hour weeks. Like it was a lot. I know now that there are definitely much smarter ways to spend your time than what I was doing. Like I said, I was blogging for hours a day. That was totally not necessary, like on top of my 9 to 5. It's so important in this industry that you realize that it's a marathon. It is not a sprint. So while you can go for a short period of time, like, are you going to be able to sustain that over a long period of time? Probably not. So it's really important to find that balance. I'm not saying that like, oh, just like relax and things will happen. Like, definitely not. This is something like where you need to take action and you need to be committed to doing something every day to get you closer to your goal. But at the same time, like, you're creating this business because you want to live a lifestyle you love. So it's important not to lose sight of that. And it's important to enjoy life and not be, glued to the computer or your phone. Like, I have recently made the commitment to create some serious boundaries around technology because I love what I'm doing so much that I could be on my phone and in the Facebook group 24 hours a day. Like, totally, like, I love it. But I have a life to live. Like, there are other things I want to be doing too. So it is a struggle in the beginning, but you definitely are able to find a balance. And by working with a coach, you can totally figure out what those important money-making activities are, client-making or discovering activities are, whatever that is. It's a way to work smarter, not harder, definitely. So yeah, for a little bit, my sleep suffered and my social life a little bit, but there are ways to do it without that happening, for sure. So the crucial steps, like I said, just really believing that it was possible for me to create this business, really believing that I had what it took to become a successful coach. That was one of the biggest things. Really stepping into my own voice, being true to myself, getting really clear about what I desire to create in my business and my life. And of course, hiring my own coach was everything, and surrounding myself with like-minded women, everything. So important. Awesome. So Rebecca asks, I'm planning on joining live. Okay. I would be very interested in knowing about your qualifications. What qualifications do you have? Do you find that your clients often ask this? I haven't launched yet, and this is one of those negative self-talk things I'm facing, as I don't have coaching qualifications, but do have experience in some certifications in other fields. Would love your take on this. Thank you. That's an awesome question. I get this all the time. So technically, I'm actually not certified as a coach at all yet. I will be certified as a health coach in June, but I'm not doing health coaching. I'm doing business coaching. It hasn't made a difference for me. No one's ever asked me personally, like, hey, like, what are your qualifications before they work with me? They do ask me all the time. They're like, do I need to be certified as a coach in order to do this? I know it definitely differs in different states. So you want to check out the laws there, but I've never found it to be a problem if you're not certified. I'm not a certified business coach. I have invested a lot of time and, well, money too, into some amazing coaching programs that have not only taught me coaching skills, but the business of, how to, launch your own business. So I feel really confident in that. And I know that I can help people create their own successful business. And I think people can see what I'm doing. And if this is something that's interesting to them, and if they, have like that one-on-one conversation with me and it feels like a fit, it's never gotten in the way of, working with me. So I totally get though, wanting to feel like the expert and make sure that you're qualified to do this type of work. But at the end of the day, really, are you a few steps ahead of your client? Like, do you know that you can really help them transform their lives in some way, shape, or form with the knowledge you have right now? A lot of the time, I think people don't get started in their coaching business because, again, they feel like they need to have all this knowledge or all this information, but no one's ever going to have all the information in the world. Like 5 years from now, like I'm still going to have so much more to learn about business and coaching. Like you can always be learning. And that's why I think for me, my education and Investing in these coaching programs is so crucial to my success because I am evolving, learning, transforming so much through all of this. And I'm so confident that I can help people with, their business. But at first, of course, that's always going to be like a question or a doubt in your mind. Like, can I actually do this? Am I qualified? So that's completely normal. You're not alone. I think everyone experiences that. Let's see. Stacy said, how did you gain the confidence to put yourself out there? Or were you already confident doing this? Are there any specific classes, people, mentors, apps, books, etc., that you wish you had known about in the early stages or is currently making a difference to you now? Okay. So the confidence to put myself out there. I was confident to put myself out there in the beginning because, like I said, I had a blog. I'd had a blog for a couple of years. So no one really knew about me though, but I was putting myself out there anyway and making myself somewhat visible. But I will say I wasn't completely confident with putting my true self out there. So I really struggled with using my authentic voice for a really long time and was trying to be what I saw in the coaching industry. So I saw certain coaches I looked up to. I saw the way they were talking, the way they were doing things, and I tried to replicate that and didn't really achieve much success. So I think it's really important to just be yourself. But how did I gain the confidence to do that? It took a lot of trial and error and me realizing that it was so exhausting trying to be someone else, and that at the end of the day, it wasn't sustainable. I wanted to feel comfortable just talking how I talk, being who I am. And I think at the end of the day, I just realized people were either going to take me or leave me. And those who decided to work with me, it would be a great match. And I just had the confidence that it would all work out if I was authentic. And as soon as I did become authentic, that's when I started to see stuff happening. So that was a great reinforcement. It made me realize, okay, yeah, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep doing this. But it's not easy. I totally get it. It's a struggle at first, but it's just realizing that if you're not going to be you, who else are you going to be? It's just too exhausting. Just be you. People out there will totally respect you for just being authentic. They want real. They don't want fake. So real is awesome. So in terms of specific classes, mentors, etc., I think one of the biggest things for new coaches is this shiny object syndrome. So there are so many incredible coaches to work with, so many fabulous programs out there. You could sign up for any of them and hopefully achieve the results that you want. But I think a lot of the time we see so many things and we're all over the place, gotta do this, gotta do that, that we don't focus in and pay enough attention on what we're supposed to be doing. So like I said, in the beginning, I was signing up for every newsletter, trying to get my hands on all this information. While that was great, it wasn't helping me build my business. So just kind of be careful about how you're spending your time. But specific classes, I've only done so I can only kind of speak from my experience. I've done IIN. It's an amazing program for building your health coaching practice, getting the information. I love that it was not a biased program. They explored all different areas, and yeah, it's an awesome program. It just wasn't the pace that I was looking for personally. Amanda Daly's Upswing Masterminds for health coaches was incredible. She's amazing. I love her. Gina DeVee, who is my current mentor right now, she's a rock star. She's fabulous. She is really making shit happen, and she is just such, she's just such an inspiration. So they're amazing. But otherwise, I haven't taken any other classes or programs, so I can't really speak to that. Books, Think and Grow Rich, The Science of Getting Rich, Leveraging the Universe, The Big Leap, what else? The Power of Now. There are so many books. I don't know. There are so many books. I could really go on forever. It's kind of what area are you most interested in learning about? You can ask me more specifically and I can answer that for you. All right. So Carmel asks, how did you find clients? How do I position myself as a credible or an authority in coaching I know I'll stumble with this when I try and explain to my family and friends what I do. When they say, but you didn't get your degree in this. Oh, I've heard that. How does all the finance, admin and stuff work behind the scenes? How do you keep yourself motivated when you're starting out? Was there an aha moment? All right, these are awesome questions. So let's see, the first one, how did you find clients? It's a lot of, you really got to put yourself out there. The first thing is first, like you need to know how to make yourself visible in the online world, or at least know how to put yourself out there in your own community and get talking. Get talking, get talking, get talking. Tell everyone what you're doing, like make it very apparent, you know, what your mission is, and really be clear in your messaging, like who you are helping and what your purpose is and like what the pain point you solve is. So that's the first thing. Obviously, it takes time. I mean, if you can go out and get a client right now, like when you're first starting out, hey, more power to you. It took me a couple months to get my first client. I know there are certain things that I could have done to help, you know, speed up the process. I was really afraid of reaching out to people individually at first. I had no problem like blasting things like into cyberspace and like having the masses see it, but like one-on-one interactions I was kind of scared about. I didn't want to come off as like salesy or anything like that. So that was tricky at first, but I found a lot of my clients online through Facebook groups, through Facebook ads, by creating opt-ins that people put their email and their name into. And so I could then reach out to them and nurture my list moving forward. A lot of you are in my Facebook group, Lady Boss Living. That's been not only like such an amazing community for me to get in touch with my ideal clients, but like it's just like made me realize like there are so many women out there who are like so ready to go after their dreams, but they just like need help in doing it. And I mean, I was completely there only a few months ago, so I completely get it. But like just interacting with people there has been amazing. I think people have come to know me a little bit more, so they trust me and might desire to work with me moving forward. So the know, like, trust factor is a huge thing. It can be really difficult in the online world to get people to like know, like, and trust you, because like, who are they? They're just someone that you've seen on like the screen, like you don't know them. Whereas in person, you meet them, you hang out with them, you get a feel for them. So it's a little bit trickier online, but I think that groups are an awesome way to kind of like get conversation started and see if there are some ideal clients there for you. How do you position yourself as a credible coach? So I kind of covered that in terms of like, you know, you don't need a degree, a certification or anything like that in order to become a coach necessarily. Like I said, depends on the laws. I don't want to like tell you something that's wrong, but I've never run into any problems with that. It's really stepping into your shoes. It's really believing that you can do it. I know it's hard in the beginning, but like just having the confidence in realizing that there are so many people out there doing this who might not even be as intelligent as you. Like there are so many people making this happen, so there's no reason that you can't. If you're not going to step up, someone else is. And I know that sounds like aggressive or whatever, but it's so true. Like so many people are like ready to dig in and like get this done and really make a name for themselves. So you just have to have the confidence and know that you can truly help people, even if you're a step or two ahead of them. So the finance admin stuff, behind the scenes, separate bank accounts. Yeah. So I have a separate bank account for like my personal, bank account, and then my business bank account. And I use one credit card for all my business expenses and one for all my personal expenses. I have an accountant and VA and people to help me behind the scenes with all of that. That is another, there's a lot that goes into that. But the great thing is that you can hire out for help and you can have people do these kind of things who love doing them and who are better at it than you are, or at least in my situation. Finances aren't my strong suit. How did I keep motivated when I was just starting out? The thing that motivated me the most was just like, I don't want to do this 9 to 5 thing. I don't want to be making this amount of money for the amount of hours I'm putting in. I want to travel the world. Like, I love traveling. I lived abroad in Rome for like 7 or 8 months. And I traveled a lot during that time. And I realized like that's such an important part of who I am. And for me, like, I want to be able to afford taking trips when I want to. I want to stay in nice hotels. I really want to live my authentic life. And I don't want to like be like, oh, I wish I could, but I can't afford it. Bummer. Maybe next time. I want to live while I'm here on this earth. And I think that's like what it came down to, was like, being stuck in this cubicle is not living. I'm not doing anything I'm passionate about. I'm not helping people like I really want to be doing. And so I think like just like that feeling, sort of like my big why, I guess, was the thing that kept me going, even when I was starting out. And just realizing it was possible. I was seeing other people do it. I knew that like I could do it too. Definitely takes time. Like, it's not easy. It's not always easy. Like, I'm not saying that at all. I definitely want to be real with you. Like, there are ups and downs totally in this business and industry, but just like keeping your big why in mind and like why you're really doing this, like, is so important, I think. Yeah, I'm suffering from ducks in a row syndrome. I know I can start now, but I don't know where or how to start. I totally get it. I was in your same shoes. You need to, my biggest advice, and I say this, is like starting before you're ready and just doing everything you have, or everything you can with what you have from where you are right now. That's kind of a leveraging the universe quote, but if not now, like when? So there are so many excuses that we can create for ourselves of like why it's not the perfect time. But if we wait for the perfect time, like, it's just never going to happen. It's just, there's no such thing as perfect. So do yourself a favor. And if this is something you want, like, take the action steps to going after it, because this is your one life and this is your time to really shine and get everything that you really desire. I truly believe that you are meant to have everything you want in life. And it's not selfish. It's just helping you live the life that you really, truly desire. Sylvia asks, my biggest question to find the answer to right now is, how in the world do I keep everything organized and keep good time management when I'm also working a 9-to-5 job? I know a day planner will be great help, but I think one of my number one fears is committing to it and not having enough time or energy to get it done. I'm guessing that would also fall under lack of confidence. Be sure how to find the right tools and resources without spinning my wheels and spending tons of money I don't have because I don't have clients. Also, with so many different types of coaches out there, how do you find the right one? How do I know what kind of coach to be looking for? Woo! All right, that's a lot to answer, but I love it. I love the thought behind it. So how do you keep everything organized and keep good time management? I'm going to make a video on that in the future, because that's a huge question that I could say a lot about. But basically, trial and error for me, at least, like really seeing what was working, like what wasn't. So for me, like, I know having notifications going off on my phone, like totally distracting, having Facebook up, like not a good use of my time. So like I X out of everything so I can really focus in on what I need to do. Brain dumping has been so awesome. So like literally like everything that's in my head, just so much stuff. Just like every little thing I need to do, whether that's like go to CVS and get shampoo or send an email to that person, like literally brain dumping on the page, and then chunking into different categories. So like marketing, errands, connecting, so like emailing people, whatever it is, and setting time slots in my calendar to go through those things. I have like a really detailed way that I do everything, but that's just kind of a vague overview, and it's all what works for you. Everyone is completely different, I've come to realize. So I work with my clients to really figure out the systems that's going to be beneficial for them, so you're not spinning your wheels and you're working smarter, not harder. So Yeah, so committing to it. I think I'm confused what you mean by committing to it, but committing to taking the actions, that's something that you're scared around. Sometimes, like when we know that there's so much to do, like launch a business, what? Like that is a huge feat. Like there's so much that goes into it. So it's so important to break that down into really small, manageable steps that you can like chip away at each day. So like even if it's like a couple of little things like getting in touch with that one ideal client and sending an email to a potential coach you want to work with. If those are the two things you do that day, awesome. Like you're totally furthering yourself along in the process. So that's great. So just really making it manageable and breaking it down is my advice. Let's see. Yeah, you don't want to spend a lot of money because you don't have a lot of clients. I get it. I know what it's like to be there. Trust me. Like I said, I really have come to believe that if you're not willing to invest in yourself, your clients aren't going to be willing to invest in you. And it's kind of like the reality, unfortunately. It'd be nice if you didn't have to spend a dime and clients are flocking to you. But yeah, I think it's important to invest in yourself in one way, shape, or form because that's what you're expecting of your clients. But you don't have to spend so much money doing that. There are definitely ways to take advantage of, like masterminds for people who like are on your level and are doing what you're doing and like come together as a group and work, collectively, like on each of your businesses. That's a great free option. I mean, books are amazing. Podcasts are amazing. All that stuff is amazing. There's so many incredible resources out there. But if you're really looking to collapse the timeline, I think it's so important to invest in someone who is going to help you take things to the next level. And with so many different types of coaches out there, how do you find the right one? I have so many coaches. I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 right now. But yeah, I think that, I'm so biased. Like, I think coaching is like the most amazing thing in the entire world. I will have a coach or coaches for the rest of my life. I'm looking to find one in, a completely separate area than just business right now. So it's really like what you want to dive deeper into in your own life, like what you really want help with, what you want to take to the next level. So I'd have to know more information, like what to know, what kind of coach you should be looking for personally. And Hattie, or is it Haiti? I'm sorry, I might be mispronouncing your name. She says, how do you take the pressure off yourself and feel okay about doing that? I feel like right now I need no pressure, but I don't want to be stuck in the same place. Should I just give myself a break and say I'll work on my blog or business when the time is right? Pressure right now is kind of not an option, but I do feel a bit guilty. Yeah. So it really depends on where you are. This is a personal journey. And I think that I think it's tough to compare yourself to what other people are doing. Like, compare yourself in a way that's going to motivate you, and compare yourself in the sense that like, oh my God, I see what she's achieving. Maybe I'm not there yet, but I can totally get there. But also don't feel like you have to be doing something or you should be doing something just because other people are doing it. It's really what feels right and good for you. Personally, I knew that I wanted to create this business faster than maybe most people. And I was ready to commit to that, like really just going after it. And I did put some pressure on myself in that sense because I knew that there were certain things that I wanted to get done in a certain period of time. But at the same time, like, it's so important that we don't put too much pressure on ourselves, because at the end of the day, like, we're here to enjoy ourselves. So it's important that everything feels good for you. I'll always say to my clients, like, how does that feel? Or how does this feel for you? Because I want this experience to be amazing for everyone. It should be something that feels awesome. Like, yes, it's scary to build your online business. Yes, it's scary to put yourself out there. There are no guarantees. Like, holy shit, that is frightening. I get it. I really, really get it. But at the same time, just realizing that, like, you don't need to put so much pressure on yourself. Like, things are going to work out. Things should feel good. Yeah, at the end of the day, you should really be loving what you're doing. So that's my biggest advice right now. I don't think I can receive any group chat things on this program right now. Let me just double check Facebook to see if anyone else has any other questions. I know this has gone on for a decently long time right now, especially with the technical difficulties. Sorry again, guys. You are amazing for sticking with me through this. I so appreciate it. Let's take a look. My computer's being a little bit slow right now. But I guess the message that I really want to convey is this is totally meant for you. And there is no reason that I was able to do this and achieve such success in such a short period of time, and that, you know, you can't. Like, this is yours for the taking. You just have to decide, like, you know, how fierce you want to be about going about it. Let's see, Facebook group. People are saying that they were on it. Awesome. Oh, some people were saying they're having trouble. Okay. Well, all right. I'm going to sign off right now, but if you do have any other remaining questions, I'm going to be available in the Lady Boss Living Facebook group. I'm also going to be holding another webinar next week, so let's hope that there are no technical difficulties. I will try and check it out and triple check that doesn't happen in the future. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope that I got to answer your questions, and sorry for rushing some things. But thank you so much for being here. I truly believe that this is possible for you, and I would love to help you in any way, shape, or form create the business of your dreams. So don't be afraid to reach out, and I look forward to our next webinar and to catching up with you guys on the Facebook page. I hope you all have an amazing night, and thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. Night, guys.